Are you ready over there, Ms. Nitmer? Okay. It's 5:30. Call to order the Public Arts Commission, the City of Indio for July 11, 2023. May we please have a roll call?
Commissioner Sanchez,
Present.
Commissioner Armenta,
Here.
Commissioner Shinsky,
Here.
Vice Chairperson Cruz Sendejas,
Here.
Chairperson Newmeyer,
Here. Time for a pledge of allegiance. Commissioner Sanchez will lead us.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Indivisible, with liberty and
justice for all. Thank you for that. Public comment for items not on the agenda. Do we have any requests to speak today?
We do not.
Okay. We will move on to 4.1, the minutes of June 13th. Are there any comments or corrections?
No.
No? If there are none, we'll hear a motion.
I'll motion to accept the minutes for June 13th, 2023.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We'll have a vote.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Aye.
Commissioner Armenta,
Aye.
Commissioner Shinsky,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Cruz Sendejas,
Yes.
Chairperson Newmeyer,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you very much. Item 5, presentation by local artists and/or arts organizations. No presentations today.
We don't have any today.
Okay. Do we need to bump anyone on the action items up one way or the other? Or are we starting with 6.1?
We will start with 6.1.
Okay, 6.1, the 9/11 Memorial Project.
Good evening, Mr. Chairperson and members of the Public Arts Commission. This item before you, okay, I need to go back, I believe. Sorry about that. This item before you is item 6.1, which is 9/11 Memorial Project. As you recall, it was circulated March 1st to May 1st of this year. The location is the new Indio Public Safety Campus. The RFP asks to include a 12-foot artifact from former New York Twin Towers. World Trade Center, and also we received 21 proposals. You narrowed it down to 7. One of the artists since then withdrew from the competition, so tonight you review 6 proposals from 6 artists. Staff is recommending to select 3 finalists to recommend to the council for review and selection of the finalists. And also please use your rating sheets. They are there for 9/11, and you have 6 of them. So the first presenter is Mika Landers. I would see if he is here on the Zoom so he can do his presentation. All the artists have capability to share their screen and do their presentation. It's supposed to be a maximum of 7 minutes. Is Mia Landers on? Paulina? Okay. So
It's Micah.
all right. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
You see me?
I think we need to switch the camera to see you, so give us a second. There we go. So, as I said, you can share your screen with us and run your presentation at your end.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me get it pulled up here. Let's see. It says I'm not able to share screen. It's disabled.
Gerald from IT, would you look into that for us?
Can you see my screen now?
We can see you.
Okay.
We'll pop back into the IT area to see if we can get this fixed here.
Okay.
Good old technology. Don't you love it? It never works when it's supposed to.
Mia, I don't know what is the problem, but we have your presentation. I can run it through at our end if you don't mind.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, you just need to tell me to switch to next slide.
Okay, that's easy.
Okay,
We just go ahead and pull up the first slide for now.
the first slide is on.
Okay. So first of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much to the Arts Council for considering me for this. It's always a huge honor to get the opportunity to do something like this, and never want to take it for granted. A little bit about myself. I have been a sculptor for several years now. I started out with apprenticing with the artist Dow Blumberg. He is a nationally and internationally recognized artist who's been sculpting for a few decades now. And I started out working with him in his studio. He's been gracious enough for years to allow me to be a part of his process, everything from budgeting and conceptualizing to working with cities and private commission art commissions to just actual production in the studio, all the way through delivery and installation. So with him, I got the opportunity to learn firsthand what it looks like to work with different cities across the country, and to do all sorts of really fun and unique projects. And so after a few years working with him, I struck out on my own, and I've been doing projects now for several years on my own as well. I've got a few images of pieces. I can't see what you guys can see in the room right now.
So we are on the first slide, which says Mika Landers 9/11 project. There's a bear, there's a tiger behind you. So would you like me to go to next slide?
Yeah, that's fine. So this next piece that I showed is just an example of a private commission we did a few years ago. This is an elevator shaft in a second and third story of a corporate headquarters with some stained glass elements and aluminum cast piece. The elevator on the first floor has a waterfall behind it, and then above that, the elevator comes up directly behind the piece. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. This is a memorial for a racetrack, or a racehorse breeding organization in Lexington, Kentucky. This is a private commission, cast in bronze, sculpted, and I think the next one actually has a video if you want to go ahead and show that. Now this one I thought was especially pertinent for you guys. I did this for a city in Ohio last year. We installed this.
Mia, we don't see the video. It's just a black screen.
Oh, okay. Can you, is it slide number 4?
Slide number 4, it shows a bird.
Yeah, can you push play on that? It should be able to push play on it, I believe. There's no audio, but it should.
Okay,
Give you an
let me try it from the other side.
So this piece is was designed. They actually have a local artist named Charlie Harper. He's pretty well known. He used to do a lot of Time magazine covers in the 70s and 80s, and they wanted a unique statue that would give an example of what his two-dimensional art might be reconceptualized for a three-dimensional situation. This piece is specifically designed just to be seen from traffic, so it was not one that they were going to necessarily have people walking up to. It was more visual from the road, and so it's a really fun one that breaks up and reintegrates his pieces, 4 different illustrations of his from different sides. And I think that the position, as far as how it relates to their traffic, is very similar to what the space you guys are looking to fill. Were you able to see that one?
So far, it's stuck on an image of the, I think it's a cardinal.
The video, there's no button for the video, so we are now at the budget and timeline slide.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I did put in a video here on slide 5 that should be able to show you guys a quick overview of the mock-up for my design. The goal that I have with this design was to both give people something that would be striking from the street, because most people will probably just be driving past this regularly in their commute. The goal for me was twofold. I'm old enough to where I can remember when 9/11 took place, but I know that I'm slowly becoming a minority in that situation. So the design, once you have the opportunity to see it, is designed to be both something that's striking from the street and also something that is actually sort of almost like a museum display where you can walk up close to kind of participate with the piece. It's
Mia,
a little bit difficult to explain it without showing it, but
Mia, I'm looking at your presentation by itself. There is no button to play any video. I don't know what had happened. Would you like to email me the file directly so we just show that video? Because there's no button in your presentation to click on.
Yeah, I can try to send it to you. I don't know that I necessarily have the time, and I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time right now.
That's okay. We need to see the piece anyways. You're okay with
Okay.
that,
Yeah, and
Mr.
if I may-
Chairperson?
Yes, and his name is Micah.
Oh, Micah,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
So just email it to me and we'll show the video.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't want to interrupt too much of his presentation time, but are we going to have this issue with every presentation today?
I don't know. We double check to make sure everything it works, but it looks like there's still some issues, so we may have this problem. But we were here till 4:30 to make sure that we're troubleshooting everything.
Okay.
And I
'Cause
just
we've never been able to let someone share a screen for some reason when we do these presentations.
I just also text the IT to see if they can see if when they set up the Zoom meeting, they didn't, maybe they didn't activate that, but we were able to share a screen. We were not able to see the presenter last time. This time we see the presenter, we can see the presentation.
I'm going to go ahead and just send you some still images because I think they'll just be quicker to upload and you can just display those.
Okay, sounds good. And I have
You
your
should have them in your email now if you want to switch to that.
Okay, and then we have your previous presentation. Do you think that will work?
Yeah, that would work fine.
Okay.
Is there a possibility that you can switch to show so that I can see what you guys are seeing?
Yeah, I'll see what we can do at this time. Okay, let me go
Yeah,
back to.
Couple other things. Usually in this process, early on, we engage with. I tend to choose Chuck Lystat of Lystat and Associates. He's based out of South Carolina. They're licensed in pretty much every state. I haven't found one yet that they don't work in to do blueprint approval for as far as structural engineering. We always start with that kind of stuff whenever we first conceptualize these things to make sure that they're going to be safe and going to work out well whenever we finally come to the point of installing them.
Micah, I apologize. They're working on trying to get this switched over back in our AV room right now.
No worries. I'll try to explain a little bit more of the concept if I can without showing it to you right away. But I had this idea. I think I wanted it to be kind of like I said before, a twofold image. I wanted it to be something that's striking from far away to where you see it and you kind of have an idea already about what it is with kind of striking lines. Something that would look really good lit up at night, something with a couple different shades of metal. I would probably want to use aluminum, and then we also have the steel that's in the original piece, and possibly some other shade of metallic material as well. But I wanted it to be something that looked really good from far away when you're just driving past it every day, and something that would be iconic for someone who saw it the first time, and also make it something that people might love to walk up to learn more, almost as a museum exhibit display, where the city would have the opportunity to go into a little bit more detail about what message you'd like to share, both about the events of 9/11, your appreciation of your own fire services and EMTs and such, and then also any other information you'd like to share that may be a little bit more specific to your city council or arts commission council.
So right now they have a rendering up from the corner with the
Okay.
arced wall, 2 towers, and the beam above.
Yeah. So basically, my concept here would be that the beam would be suspended above the viewer at a height to where it's not easily touched, but it's close, so the viewer feels like they can actually kind of observe a piece of history up close and personal, but that it would kind of limit the capacity for anyone to deface, play with, climb on, whatever. That would be mounted and hung cantilevered from 2 replica of the Twin Towers that would be coming up out of a triptych short wall that would also be made out of metal, I think, and would have 3 sections on it that could be utilized for illustrating and communicating what the city's interests or investment is with this art project. So you see these pieces from the road lit up at night or standing there, and then you get the opportunity to walk up closer and observe what
Okay.
the city wishes to express concerning this
Sorry
artifact.
Sorry to
and
interrupt you. I think you can share screen now. Could you try it again, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right. I think you can see what I'm seeing now, hopefully.
Yeah, we can. Hallelujah. Thank you.
All right. So this was the one, I don't know if you guys got to see it before. I'm sorry I'm taking up so much of your time. This was the one that I did for the city in Ohio. It's on a street corner. It's designed to take a two-dimensional artist's pre-existing work, break it up in a really fun way so that every day when people drive by, they see his illustrations that they're very familiar with there, just put together in a new way. So he's got 4 different illustrations that the city actually voted on there, done by this artist who's very well known there, who had a long history as a professor of art and who did many well-known illustrations in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Let me skip to the next slide. So here is a little overview of the piece that you saw in still before. Reconfigured it a little bit, but basically my idea is that you'd have the 2 twin towers represented in the piece so that people, even from afar, if it's their first time driving through town, will be struck by and recognize what they're seeing, and will also want to get a closer look. And then you actually have the opportunity with a triptych there and the 3 panels kind of broken up in that short wall to give people an opportunity to learn more and to get up close to the piece. So I think I've taken up plenty of your guys' time trying to figure this out, but I'd love to hear if you do have any quick Q&A. That'd be awesome to hear from you.
Micah, remind me again, what materials are you using?
Depending on the structure, it's pretty much always, I work in metal. I would probably build an internal structure out of steel that would be rated to hold the artifact. And then I would like to do the 2 towers in an aluminum because it's a very easily polished kind of chrome material. And then the wall, I think we should do another darker material, possibly a steel as well. I know you guys in your area with your weather, you don't get much rain or anything, but I know that sun could probably be an issue with reflective surfaces. So I think that with the towers, you would get a minimal amount of reflection with it would really make them pop to have different colored metals kind of on backdrops of one another.
Did you consider our weather? I mean, right now it's 111 outside. Do you think metal would get a little too hot?
I think that if people were going to be walking up and touching it, it could get hot. That's kind of actually really the case anywhere. I think even if you put a statue up in Canada, you'll find that in August it can be really, really hot to touch. I live here in the kind of the Midwest, and we have statues in our zoos and stuff that kids love to play on, and you have to be careful in the summer because heat's always an issue. But I don't know that you're going to get anything that's quite as durable as metal for a permanent installation like this. We do these all over. I mean, we've put statues up in the Middle East before, so.
It gets hot there. Tell me, use of color. You mentioned color. What colors are you thinking?
Yeah, so the original artifact that you guys have, I haven't seen it in person, but it looks like it's dark, which is typical of something that is used for structural steel. I would love to use, we very frequently use aluminum and bronze, depending on a lot of times what aesthetic we're going for. I would suggest using steel on the triptych wall and aluminum on the towers. The towers standing against the wall would really pop.
What would you finish the steel in?
That would be up to you guys. I always like to collaborate with whoever I'm working with and make sure that they're comfortable with the direction things are going. I think it would be a good idea to do some kind of a pre-rust patina. Since you guys don't get a lot of weather, you could actually have it rusted before it gets there, and that would really minimize heat and reflectivity and make it easily legible as far as having language written on it.
I say, as far as information you were talking about putting there, are you talking about wording? Are you talking about illustration, or what would you consider putting
I think
on that triptych?
That's something where I'd really like to get input. I don't know if you guys, I know that the RFP called for a plaque of some kind with information on it. So that was kind of originally put into the proposal. I think you could utilize that space really well with text is what I would start with. And then if you found that you had more space than you was necessary for what you wanted to say about 9/11 and about the city's response to that, you could definitely put in a few striking images as well. We could really go any direction with that.
Any other questions?
No,
All right.
I don't have any more, I don't think.
All
Except
right,
that
thank
the
you so much
artifact-
for your time. I appreciate it. Sorry about all the
The
extra
artifact is kind of
extended time here.
rusty, so just so you know.
Okay. Thank you for your
Thank you,
presentation.
Micah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
You're welcome.
much. And I will send an email to everybody tomorrow. You still can see the meeting through the streaming, but we will invite the next panelist. May I get my presentation up, please? So the second presentation is James Dean. James Dean is here on the Zoom. So he's joining now, and again, you can control your presentation at your end. You can share your screen now, and then you have up to 7 minutes to explain about your work. There you go. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay,
I can
hi.
hear you.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thank you.
So I believe you can share your screen and
Okay, I will try it.
all right, so go on the bottom. It's a
Yeah.
green arrow. There you go. All right, we see your presentation now.
Okay, great. I titled the design Lights of Remembrance. You know, over 20 years have passed since the events of 9/11, yet and when we talk about or see images of that tragic day, a range of emotions quickly surfaces, disbelief, anger, fear, sadness. And I remember I was in grad school at UC Berkeley when this happened. And, even though there was so much destruction and death and tragedy, we also saw shimmering lights of collective support and a coming together of Americans of all backgrounds. I remember joining other people on campus, then a few days after the events, just to show our support. And so I believe it's really important to commemorate that dark day so that we don't forget the many lives lost and importantly, the tremendous heroism of the many people, especially first responders. So the proposed design for the Indio 9/11 Memorial Project aims to inspire a sense of collective humanity and community by creating a physical space that invites remembrance and contemplation, and which can also act as a catalyst for further conversation and learning. Because even today, really young people don't know much about the events of 9/11. So I think this memorial will really serve as a good catalyst for conversation. And this is a plan view that shows the proposed design. And it has 4 elements, which I'll go through one by one. The first element is the community circle. The second element, number 2, are these memory stones. And The third element is what I call a constellation wall. And the fourth element in the center of the space is the steel artifact. And what I present today is a slightly modified design from what I had originally submitted in the RFP, but I'll show the original design as well. So the first element is the community circle. As people walk or drive by the new public safety campus, they'll see the circular plaza-like space. Not knowing the space itself, I imagine this circle to be about 20 to 25 feet in diameter, which is generous. So this community circle is intended to welcome people of all backgrounds, and it will be paved with decomposed granite DG, which, as you know, in the desert is used everywhere, and it's a very environmentally friendly material, and it's quite affordable. And the second element are these three stones that mark the periphery of the community circle. They're large natural boulders, and stone evokes strength, timelessness, and enduring memory. One slightly leaning boulder, the tallest one, symbolizes humanity. So on the slanted face, words could be engraved such as, "We will never forget the sacrifice, dedication, and countless acts of bravery of the many first responders." And the second stone, this tall vertical stone, is the stone of heaven, which reaches up towards the sky. To honor the many lives lost, engraved text could read, "In remembrance of the 2,977 innocent lives that we lost as a result of the September 11, 2001 attacks." And the third boulder rests horizontally, symbolizing earth. Like an altar, this stone offers an informal place to place flowers or to rest. The third element, which really defines the space, is the constellation wall. Wrapping around one half of the community circle is this curving steel wall that creates a neutral backdrop and blocks out the background visual noise. And the wall, I envision it to be about 7 to 8 feet high at its highest point. To evoke the almost 3,000 lives that were lost, the wall will have many small circular cutouts, as well as the numbers 9, 11, 01 etched onto its surface. And so these perforations will create ever-changing shadow and light patterns throughout the day. And central to the community circle is the steel artifact itself. It's placed against the backdrop of the constellation wall in the center of the circle. And the artifact will stand tall on the concrete podium, yet still be within reach for people who want to touch this very sacred element. Steel plate would have to be welded to the base of the artifacts that can be attached with anchor bolts to a circular concrete pedestal. And this image shows an overall view of the memorial. You can see the three of palms rising above the wall from behind. So it adds to this overall uplifting feeling of the memorial. And this is a night view. The wall can be backlit at night so that the cutout holes will shimmer like constellation of stars. Lights are, LED lights are very nowadays. They can be programmable so that the color changes according to holidays. For example, during 9/11 commemorations, the light could be changed to maybe a blue color. And this is the design that I had originally submitted for the RFP. It's slightly different from the design that I had just gone over, in that this design has two granite vertical pillars that, obviously they reference the Twin Towers, and their black color symbolizes lost. Engraved on the pillars are the words, "never forget." So the designs are very, very similar. And this is the night view of the alternate design. I won't go into the budget or the timeline, but I'm confident that the project can be completed within budget and within about 6 to 7 month timeline. A little bit about myself. I'm from the Los Angeles area, and I founded the design practice called Studio Folia back in 2010. With really the simple mission of connecting people to memory and place through public art. Because I feel that the context and requirements of each project are so vastly different, my design process is based more on an approach rather than a singular style. So this focus on site specificity, as you can see, it's reflected in the diversity of my built projects across the US. In the lower left-hand corner is a memorial I completed in 2022 at the University of St. Thomas in St. Paul, Minnesota. It was a memorial to deceased students. And the white sculpture on the other three images shows a project I had completed this year at the University of Nebraska. It sits in front of a new College of Education. The image on the left, the bamboo light structure, is a project I completed in Westminster in Orange County. And back in 2019, I was one of 5 finalists for a Native American Veterans Memorial, which would be, it was to be located at the Smithsonian Museum, the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C. So basically that concludes my proposal.
Thank you very much. So if the commission has any questions, this is the time to ask the artist.
Should I go back?
I have a question about your materials for the curved wall. What would you plan to make that out of?
It would be steel. Budget permitting, I would like to use stainless steel because it's such a durable material. However, because it's the desert setting, I would paint the wall a light color so that it doesn't absorb a lot of heat. It reflects heat, but it won't hold heat, so that it's more touchable than if you weren't to paint the steel.
Do you have any idea of what light color?
Oh, I like just a soft white. Yeah.
How about your DG?
I like California Gold. It's a local material.
I like the constellation idea. I don't like the idea of using colored lights. I think using colored lights on something like this would almost be an insult to the piece. Just light. I mean, this scene at night with that constellation twinkling, it says it all. You don't need color. And I know people are prone during holidays and whatever to do typical gaudy American color stuff, but this doesn't need it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, there is the option because these lights are programmable. So.
I know, but take your option away. Tell us there's no option. I mean, truly, your tweaked version with those stones, it's stunning. It really is stunning. It's very contemplative. It's exactly what, in my mind, this memorial should be. Because...
Yeah, after much more thinking, I decided to revise the design to really tone it down and make it more elegant, in my opinion. because the Twin Towers, I feel have been overused as a symbol. But
Terribly overused. I mean, that's the first thing everyone wants to see. But this really makes, the use of the stones and that curved wall and just the artifact there by itself, it says everything it needs to say. It's striking, it's very touching, considering, I mean, it is amazing, we're at the 20th anniversary of this event. And I think, or I hope, that people are finally beginning to think about why it happened and the things that happened subsequently in Americans' reaction to other people. It was not pleasant. I mean, I have friends who are of Middle Eastern extract, and they were treated terribly because they happened to be of Middle Eastern extract. So, this is a very complicated event. And it may have been terrible, but there were reasons why it happened. Stepping down from the soapbox, I love this piece.
thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? No?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You can also watch the streaming online, but I will contact all the artists tomorrow regarding the result. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everyone's time.
Thank you. Have a great night. So next presenters are the team of artists, Sarah Dabbagh and Babak Joez. Are they there?
Yes, do you hear us?
Just give us a second so we can situate you. There you go. We hear you, and you can share your screen and just manage your slides at your end.
Perfect.
Thank you.
First of all, hello. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for considering our work. Let's see how I can share my...
I have to say hello. Thank you.
Yes,
She's my boss.
She's your boss?
Yeah, always.
All right, boss, let your help speak also.
Yeah, do you see the screen or not yet?
We don't see it yet. Now I think, yeah, we see it. Great. We can see it. Great. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Yeah, we see it.
But can I hide this bar here? Do you see this bar too? Or just you see?
We see some surrounding on the page as well.
Okay, here we go. Okay. I gonna do a quick presentation of first Babak. You can start presenting yourself as
And my background is cinema. I was sound mixer in film industry, and it's more than 20 years that I do sculptures. I can call myself a sculptor, and I have some exhibition as a sculptor or also photographer. That's it, and I think that this project, you will see it, whatever I did in all my life. That's it. It's my emotion that I try to design something to say what happened in 9/11 that I remember when I was young. That's it. Thank you.
And I have a background in graphic design and art art direction. I had also some exhibitions, and recently with Babak we decided to go to work on some public arts. I think maybe I should first show you the two design which we presented for the public arts, for the, in fact, memorial of 9/11. This is the first one, And so maybe I will read my statement because I knew that we will have a short timeline, and then I can answer you if you have any question about it. In fact, the primary objective is to maintain a minimalist approach that avoids overshadowing the artifact while emphasizing on the significance of the artifact from the tragic event of 9/11. The design incorporates the number 11 and 9, serving as a poignant reminder of this global tragedy. In the concrete concept, the recreation of a twin buildings facade is the essential thought, with a focus on highlighting the artifact. The design incorporates the number 9 and 11. The I-beam design features two beams forming number 11, symbolically embracing the artifact. Inspired by the act of placing flowers, in fact planter, at the base of memorial sculptures, the planter idea is introduced. In both designs, great care is taken into consideration to ensure that the tree palms tree behind it, in fact, which representing the city of Indio, remain visible and significant without being overshadowed. And now you can see this is the first one, which is made from concrete. We will, in fact, we would like to make it from concrete, and we try to be as minimal as possible to put more emphasis on artifact, in fact, which is the most important part. And the shape of the sculpture or structure, it can remain as the number 9 and 11. And with the texture that we would like to create on the sculpture, which will remind us in fact, the facet of the twin buildings without being reminded, in fact, directly, you know, it's something fade at the background. And with the lighting, we can also work, give a nice view of it at night. Here, another, in fact, angle of it. And here we can see just different lighting. The most important is to don't hide the palms tree, and also put in front the artifact, which is a part of the tragic event, in fact. The second design, which is the I-beam, two I-beams here which hold or hug, we can say, the artifact. And we know always at the memorial statues, when we see everywhere, there are people would like to put flowers, or even the city put flowers. That's why we come with the idea of planter here at the bottom of the artifact. So we can plant the flower which you have in India, like lavender or other kind of flower, depend on the season. And the two I-beams is just hugging the artifact. It doesn't hide the palm trees at the background. And again, with the lighting, we will have a nice view of it at night. And we can go around the sculpture. Here, again, we can, sorry, it's a bit slow here. I don't know why. Here, it gives more idea about the planter and how the artifact will be presented in the middle. And then I have also, if you have any question about the technical, we will work with the architectural architects and designer and engineers to make sure that have a really because that good final design, and we will provide all the permits from the city which will be needed.
And also I have to add that the third language is English. That's why we have lots of problem for communication. Sorry about that.
Yeah, with French, it could be much easier. Or,
You guys are good. You guys are good. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and fresh design, it's a concrete structure measuring around 21 to 13 foot. And the part of it will be in fact, will be we will make it on the side construction for like the foundation, the concrete foundation, and the other part we will make it and on offsite, and then we will put together everything on site, and we will work with the people at LA, the local people, in fact. And I think it will take around, for the concrete design, it will take around 2 to 3 months. And for the I-beam structure, the same, the foundation will be built locally and on-site, and the I-beam structure will be built off-site, and everything will be brought together on the spot. And to secure the artifacts onto the sculpture, we will use chain, bolts, and nuts. And we won't, in fact, damage the artifact as requested.
For both of them?
For both of them, yeah. And this design, it takes around 1 to 2 months to be built. Now, if you have any question, we are here to answer to your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner, any questions from the artists?
That's true.
Well, you mentioned that you'll be working with some other designers. How much experience do either of you have in working with concrete and/or steel?
The people that we are working with, they are really expert in concretes.
Okay.
They are also working for other artists and designers to make concrete structure and sculptures.
Well, initially, I should have said your designs are beautiful.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
And also, I have to add that they didn't help us to design this. They just
Yeah, for the engineering.
Yeah, they are civil
really-
engineer and architectures that we negotiate with them, and we send the designs, and we ask about the technical problems and questions,
which we had,
everything.
yeah.
And also for California, I know that we have to get the permission from certified civil engineer in California, states of California. And they show us the projects that they have, and then we choose them. And also we have 2 alternative companies, because for the projects that, also for the other project that I applied last month, I had some opportunities to choose one of them with the best quality, because the finishing is the most important thing, and also safety. And but this one, I prefer to work with them because of the finishing and also everything that I saw as a project. That's it. But we have also the other alternative as a company in Los Angeles or California.
Yeah, because the designs are so minimal, because we didn't want to, in fact, to make a sculpture as, I don't know how to explain, but the most important is to put shadow, don't put shadow on the artifact, which is a part of 9/11, and we would like to put light on it. That's why the structure are so minimal. But what is important is the final and how we will finish it. That's why we use, we talk with different people, but we try to choose the people that they have really experience on concrete and doing artworks.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions from the artists? No. All right, thank you so much. You can watch the rest of the commission on the streaming, but I will contact everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
so
you for
much.
your
Thank you. The next artist is IQ Hopen. Are they there? We don't see the artist. I'll go to the next artist and we come back to this one again. The next artist is Oleg Labikin. I believe he's there. All right. There we go. Okay. So we can see the presentation, Oleg, and then if you would like, you can start your presentation. You have 7 minutes, and
Okay.
we are
Hi,
here to
everybody.
listen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening, City Council. Good evening, everyone. My name is Oleg Labikin. Originally, I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia. About half of my life I spent in the United States. I lived in California over 20 years. I lived in New York City for about 6 years. I had a chance actually to climb Twin Towers and visit observation deck. And I had proof of it. I included in my presentation some personal photos. Next. I have somebody here who is helping me with the slideshow in another room because I don't have PowerPoint on my computer. Give me the next slide. Next. Okay, here's the next slide. This is a little bit about me. Short introduction. My background, I am a stone carver, sculptor. As a sculptor, I work not just with stone, I work also with metal, like bronze, stainless steel, composite materials, GFRC, and so on. I live in Silicon Valley over 20 years, right between Stanford, Facebook, and Google. Small town which one calls East Palo Alto. There is many people like me, especially all connected to IT industry. I consider myself from Stone Age because based on my stone carving, stone restoration experience. Next. Here's a couple of photos. On the left, that's me standing right over the observation deck at Twin Towers. And on the right, it's my brother who's visiting me from Russia, and we are taking pictures of each other and city of New York, Big Apple. And of course, we did not think about what might happen later or how historical these images might and personal could be to us. Next. Design philosophy. 9/11, for all its horror, testifies to be the great courage and selfless sacrifice that united all Americans. In the face of adversity, Americans came together as one people to support and comfort one another, with many exhibiting extraordinary bravery in rescuing victims of the terrible attack. Even the worst twisted evil could not crush the courageous American spirit. This idea is represented visually by the Courage Towers sculpture design. I propose two columns, two pillars, which one remind us about Twin Towers, and existed artifact which one faced between them. A material, stainless steel, with two options. One of the options, polished surface with mirror polished images, reflections, or if traffic concerns regarding reflections, regarding sunlight, perhaps the surface finishing option number 2 could be brushed. Next. Here's a few different views in scale, how it might look. I'm proposing pillars up to 15 feet high. Next. Now here's the second option where pillars in brushed surface. Pretty much same material, it just avoiding reflection, we change texture so it's not so bright. But at the same time, actually, I think it would be cool if polished mirror surface allowed, because in that case, it will interact with surrounding and it can become kind of a part of it. And actually, the artifact will stand out in contrast even more. Next, this is another view and a little bit more text. Next. A fitting tribute. The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center are reflected in the two square columns, which are proportional in size and footprint to the actual buildings. Stainless steel convey resilience of spirit and strength of resolve in response to adversity. The artifact is positioned between the towers at an angle somewhat reminiscent of the trajectory of impact, signifying destruction, intrusion, evil forces, sorrow, and tragedy. Yet the steadfast courage of the nations withstands and honors those who lived and died by it. I can add personally from my base personal experience, living in the United States for a long time. First time when I heard terminology divided nation, that was during the presidential campaign, Al Gore and George Bush Jr. And I never heard before anything like divided nation. But when we talk about this strategy, I was very much impressed by united of the nation. I'm really sorry we need to have a strategy to be united, but that was something everybody was watching, not just people who is living in this country, but around the world, around those shocking news and pretty much like watching it live. This is pretty much the end of my presentation. If you do have any questions, please let me know. I believe last page is only budget, right, Kimberly? Yeah, it's not interesting. Maybe let's go back to some images and answer questions if there are any.
Thank you very much, Oleg. Any question from the artist by the commission?
None from me, no.
This is a technical question. How is that artifact suspended? Can you explain, very simply explain? I'm not
Well,
an engineer, but
yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know, it's like floating in
Should
between.
be attached to pillars. Pillars should be as a structural support for
So
the
they are-
artifact. At least like one anchor in one pillar,
Uh-huh.
another anchor in another pillar. Or perhaps if you don't want to drill any holes through the artifact, it could be chain or something else.
Yeah. Yeah, the simplicity of it's really quite lovely. And I like the conceptual, that the angle is the angle of impact. That's nice.
Originally, actually, I was thinking about different design, which one actually exactly same, except the pillars. I was thinking first to do it in marble, white marble. But because the proportions, the weight of the pieces would be and much more, and I'm also not sure about budget will be allowed to do that. So that's why I choose actually stainless steel, and stainless steel also attracts me, not just because the climate of South California, but because also the ability provides this reflective surface, which one pretty much can act like a mirror. And in this case, actually, it would be mirrors because two cube base forms next to each other, which one also is going to interplay with reactions of each other, with reflections of each other. It should be something spectacular. Unfortunately, these renderings do not represent your or future proposed real surrounding. It's just to give an idea. But I expect it's going to be more blue from sky, green from lawn, and whatever buildings and space nearby.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Oleg. You can watch the rest of the meeting through streaming, but I will contact all the artists tomorrow, let them know about the result. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Yeah.
So the next artist, we go back to Ms. Hopen. I believe now she's there on the Zoom. Hi, we can see you now.
Oh, great.
Hi, thank you. You can share your screen if you would like, and,
Okay,
and
great.
do your presentation, run it at your end.
Okay.
We hear you, but if you can increase the volume, that would be great.
Okay, the volume is good.
Yeah, we can see your presentation great. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear us now?
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Now let me go to the. Do you see the images?
Yes, we do see the image. We see the
The blue
top part, but
color?
we don't see the bottom that the people are standing.
Okay. Mm.
Maybe you're zoomed in.
I think it may
Can you
be
see
zoomed
can you see
out a bit.
better?
No, you may need to just reduce it a little bit so we can see it on the screen.
Okay, you want to see full screen? Okay.
Reduce smaller.
Hmm. You see?
We can't, there's been no change. Maybe on the bottom right-hand corner of your window, there's a magnifying up and down. Probably
Zoom
shrink.
out.
Usually not this big. My God. How about
I don't see that.
I don't see the icon.
You can
Yeah.
scroll slowly up so we can see the bottom piece as well. Just slowly scroll it up if you can. If you cannot change the size.
Okay, can you see the full picture now?
No, we don't. We see just the top portion.
Go to there.
Does not have big small. Sorry about that. Usually we don't have this issue. How about let me show you on here. Do you see here?
It's the same.
Is it same?
You
Yeah.
just had it. You just had a thing with a magnifying glass. Showed up orange. You did something where it showed up.
Here? No. Zoom is only 90%.
Yeah, zoom out.
Yes, small enough? Now smaller?
Nothing has changed on our end. It still looks
Yes.
the same.
The same?
So frustrating.
So do you see the image I show here?
We see only. Okay, now we only see you.
Okay, let me try one more time, okay?
All right.
Let me see.
Seems like everything's extremely zoomed in.
Can you see now?
We see. Oh, yeah, but much better. Much better. Yeah, it's
Yeah, we
better.
see a magnifying glass here. Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. It's good now.
Okay, good.
Okay.
It is too much now.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
now it's perfect. Do not touch, please.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. We are so moved by this 911 memorial because our friends in New York, Tony went to a tooth appointment and his secretary killed. So this is very touched, moved our family as well. Not only in worldwide humanity scale, such a tragic event touch each soul on the earth. So we create something we want to convert this magnitude of loss as like a reflection pool. It shows the loss as a vault. So we cut through the steel with the birds of freedom, birds of light, representing all the innocent souls, their lasting legacy forever allow us to witness. So the Birds of Light, the Light of Hope Memorial is about honor their presence, their absence, but now is present. So we want to honor their light shining through the birds.
Also, the sunlight above will shine through the cutouts, the plasma cuts in the steel, and these images of birds will be projected onto the plaza and onto the visitors. It will be omnipresent in the sunlight, projecting down and playing.
Shifting with light. So there's a passage of time is poetically convert because we want to never forget about them. Each moment we spend, each moment the light shifting is moving with their presence. So we want to convert the memory never lost. So it's not a simple one block or simple one line or one shape. is about the shape of the light. And that's how we try to convert the magnitude of loss. It's not just one object that we can express. It's about something more than words, more than form or sculpture itself. That's why we inviting the immense object of the light, the natural light, the moonlight, and the LED light, and all the light play a powerful emotional aspect of their presence. And we have the circle seating can be concrete circle. The light of the birds, you can see it shine on the children sitting here. So this is the very interactive, and we have the play here. This is from the top view. This circle is inviting each of us to be a part of this memory, to be a part of the legacy, to remember them, to carry their light and walk out to the world as their light in us, never lost. So this is about unifying and healing together, interactive and engaging all of us. And it's 20 feet tall, can be stainless steel for 16 to 18 feet tall. If you want to be taller, need to be steel and painted, treated, and can be last very long as well. But stainless steel, we don't need to paint colors. Boats is a height about 16 or 20 or 24. It's your choice. So this is we try to put in front of the building. I think the landscape of the 3 pine tree is beautiful. We think this 3 tree and the 3 spiral pillars, I think is echoing with each other in harmony.
We also want to emphasize the contrast between the eternal, never disappearing aspect of stainless steel versus the passing, the artifact, which is of steel that will decompose, but the stainless steel will remain forever. And this is a symbol of the memories of the souls that were lost.
Will live on.
They will live on.
Yeah. So that's why we spiral, echoing the spiral of the steel to preserve their soul, their spirit that will never lost. Although the steel may rust in time, but their memory, their spirit, their legacy forever live among us. So we try to convert a simple and powerful statement from emotional aspect that we remember. It's not a philosopher or something about mind. It's about humanity. It's about how we connect with love and emotion. That's how we can heal as a whole. So this concept, we give you the number 1 choice is the spiral birds. We think this light of hope is simple. All the age group can relate to. Everybody can see the cutout birds is symbolizing the loss, but they are forever with us as the light is shining through. So this is a very simple metaphor that even children, school kids can understand. That's how it become important community art that everybody will come, everybody will remember, everybody want to gather, hey, let's meet on the light of hope. Remember the light of hope? It's very simple. Now this is the second design we come up during our brainstorm. We think this 2 pillar can be stainless steel or painted steel, and this resembling twin tower. But you can see between them something magical happens is their memory come together and unify us, become a sacred circle that embrace the steel. And we think this embracing has a very powerful metaphor that they are never lost. they are with us, and we can come up touching the steel. A symbolic connectedness, togetherness. So we want to convert that although they are not with us, but they are with us in spirit, countless, all of them. This is about 12 feet. Because this is much more mass wider, so it's lower than the Light of Hope.
The artifact will be suspended so that visitors
Supported.
can come and touch it. And we would also allow it to have a certain amount of movement. It would be
It can be moved or not moved, it depends on your desire.
it would be limited in movement, but it would be a free piece where when you touch it, you would sense the mass and the
Yeah, it can be moved gently, but it can be
limited in
secure.
that movement.
But it can be 100% secured with the birds from many angles, 100% secured. Because the birds can wrapping around, embrace the steel. And if you want to suspend with movement, we can do that as well. My personal preference is, sorry, Bill, I feel like strong, secure. And because the birds of wings of freedom already have the motion of, active, inviting. So I think the steel can be 100% solid if you decide. If you want motion, we can create that as well. This is the landscape we tried to give some reference. This color is beautiful, and we think all this color in winter, it can be a very beautiful essence to echo this beauty of everlasting metaphor that we are together. Even winter cannot defeat us. So we have this landscape team. They are very passionate about contributing the design. We can give you some design about this within your budget, and you can use our design to grow landscape plan, this beautiful local plants. This is the third one. Is a column right up, but this one you cannot touch the steel. So our personal preference will be lower, can be easily touched. But the interaction features are similar. We can see the light shine through. In the first design, second design, third design, all of them are inviting interaction, which will unify all of us. This is our budget is $125,000. Although the budget is very low, but we can do it. And this is our top priority project because it's very meaningful. And we want to also teach our 5 children about how we remember, how we honor, and how we value that life is most precious, and compassion is the message. So 125,000 is the budget, and this is our team. Our structural designer, Dennis Poole, he advises us on daily basis, and we have been working on memorial projects such as National Buffalo Memorial in New York. We awarded the contract last year by New York State and Park Recreation for $1 million. And we also creating artwork with our team on a few other projects. We just won another competition today with West Virginia Capital for Women's Suffrage Memorial. Our team named Humanity Memorial because we are focused on creating art to heal. So we believe our experience and our passion to create art to honor victims of 9/11 and all the national heroes who contributed to humanity. So if you need a water feature, we have 911 Memorial Water Feature Designer Dam. And we have landscape architect Kono Gray. He just elected as president of a national society, landscape society. And that's his knee looks too serious. So this is our team. We also have an architect in our team. He did the largest sculpture called Rose Lion in San Francisco Zoo. So we have a team, have expertise and standing by, ready to serve you. All the expertise you need for project of this importance. We have the structure design. We have the
world-class engineering.
World-class engineering. And this piece is 24 feet in Coeur d'Alene. We installed last year, right? And Kono's team, EDSA is Global Landscape Fund, did the Dubai Creek 1.2 billion. But they are very happy to support this project with symbolic landscape plant choice. And he will be a part of this design support. And we can design the landscape for free for you if you choose to add plants to echo the design symbols. This is the Unity Orchard we did, the children group, and Southern Islands video we did. Is rated as #1 must visit in TripAdvisor. So here is the Water Memorial Designer's profile and structural designer's profile, did MLK, architecture profile. And we would like to show you some of our past works on similar locations. I think it's below here. Unity Orchard, I think Unity Orchard is 16 feet. So I think about 16 feet will be good for you for stainless steel, which do not need maintenance. And the deal we did for Southern Island, the musician, the children group is bronze, and wedding cannon, and Nobel Peace Prize winner. And this one is for Washington, D.C. Civil rights leader. That is, so this is a few past work examples. You can see how when the birds join together, the lights, you can see the clear blue sky. This is Unity Orchard. I think we have, this is about humanity, honor humanity and equality. We are a national competition winner for Foot Soldier Monument in Birmingham, Alabama. Is about $600,000 here. Let's see it in. So now, if you have any question for us, please ask us any question you may have.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Commission, do you have any question for the team?
No.
All right, it looks like your presentation was very complete, so there's no question at this point. Thank you so much for your time. You can watch the rest of the meeting via the streaming online, and I will contact all the artists tomorrow about the result. Thank you very much and have a great night.
Thank you, Leila. We'll send this update trial to you right now into your email, okay?
All right.
Thank you all for wonderful work. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So the last artist for this project is Mamoun Hashem. Yeah, I see he's there. So Mamoun, we can see you. Hi, so you can share your screen and run your presentation at your end.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
First, I want to thank everyone for selecting me as one of the finalists. It's a great honor. I do remember when this event took place. I was in Kansas City, much younger at that time, but over the years, I have this is an event that you can never put it behind. We're all sort of touched in so many different ways. So this, when I saw there's a competition, I jumped on it right away. Just sort of put everything in the side and worked on it. So I'm really happy to be able to present today. My name is Mamun Hashem. I'm from Bangladesh, but I grew up in Dallas, Texas. I studied architecture, and then I lived in several places. I lived in Kansas City, Minnesota, and now in Los Angeles. I have a bachelor degree in architecture and master's in interior design, and I also teach at UCLA. I teach architecture design. I also taught at Cal Poly Pomona. Here's my. Let me pull up my presentation, and I want to. Can everyone see the presentation and full screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, you can see the full screen. Okay, great. So I just from my design background, I always a process to any of my design has to go through some sort of process unless it doesn't feel real to me. So I was sitting there thinking that how can I approach or start this how can I come up with the solution for this design? We all have the same feelings, the feelings of loss, but how do I transfer those words into a form? Because after all, that's all we're creating is a form that touches everyone in a different way, or maybe in the same way. So in my design studio, I have 15 students, and I send them an email, ask them to send me 5 words that talks to them individually, that talks to them about their loss in life, whatever that is. So everyone sent me a group of words, and I noticed there's majority of the words deals with the sorrow, the sad feeling, but 1/3 of the words, there's the strength, there's the ambition, there's the love. So I went, these are the words that are positive. And I felt like, yes, I mean, this wasn't a negative event, but I think there's something positive came out of that. And so that's why this research to put it through the students with different backgrounds. I have students from all over the world. So it was really interesting to see these words: transcendental silence, permanent absence, dream, passing strength, melancholy, tears, redefining, movement, escape, void, eternal. And then I sort of streamlined and put these words together, and I thought this could help me come up with my form or shape. So the word that first spoke to me was void. And it's an interesting word, I think, and I'm sure all of everyone in this room has, any type of event or incident that comes to our life. It doesn't matter how much time we have past, that void is always there. So that's why I thought the void is sort of it's very strong. And then eternal, which is the portal going from life to another dimension. Love, dream, movement, silence, permanent, passing, strength, and transcendental. I thought these are the words that I'm going to move forward. And I'll read this very quickly. So this was my concept when I put it together. The concept of the memorial should evoke a sense of respect, reflecting the gravity of the events that occurred. It should incorporate elements that symbolizes hope, renewal, and unity, serving as a beacon of light in the face of darkness. The twin structure in my project that you'll see symbolizes the Twin Towers. The void in between is the memory left for all of us. The diagonal path that you'll see that goes through the structures is the journey for all families affected by the loss of lives from this event. In addition to serving as a place of remembrance and reflection, the memorial should also serve as a space of healing and community. It's a place to be together, get together, connect, reconnect. It should be accessible to people of all ages. And that's what I thought. I wanted to design something that even children can come and play. Abilities in background, providing a space to unite and find solace. The intent of the memorial to create a lasting tribute to those impacted by the tragedy, while also providing a space for healing, reflection, and unity for future generations. Just wanted to ask, can you guys see these slides when I shift?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. I will just look at these slides, and I just want you to, based on those words and my concept, just want you to feel if you see that void, if you see that hope, if you see that strength, and does it become a destination for Indio? Does it become a gathering place? Does this place work for all ages? So the twin structure resembles the Twin Towers. And that's the diagonal path that it's gonna be used as a sort of walkthrough. And I have a communal sitting, what would be a great place to just sit and observe. I will explain this piece in another slide. This would be as if you came on the intersection waiting. So that's why these towers are facing two different directions, but not blocking each other. It's placed in a way, if you're walking from the left or right, they don't block each other. This is a place where people can gather and do other activities as well, like sketching or reading a book. This is a little bit taken from the building side where the trees, and I created this sort of berm condition just to give a separation from the building and this sort of sacred zone. So this is my last slide. And I always thought the mist, the cloud, smoke have this sort of presence that symbolizes passing, or it's an emotion we feel but we cannot see, or we can see but we cannot touch. It's dissipate. So I thought I want to bring in an element like that we don't build, but it still have a very strong feelings that's just like that void or that sad or sorrow feelings that, this incident has, left behind for us. But at the same time, it has to be playful. The whole thing it shouldn't just bring back that sorrow all the time. I think it should be a playful space. So this is a perforated metal, very light, and it will probably have some cross bracing attached on the top, very, very slim, so this wouldn't distract. But in between, there are two perforated metal panels, very light. In between, you have sprinkler system tubes that the water or the mist will spit out, and I think that's going to be a great playground for kids because it's India and it gets hot even during the day, and the mist doesn't need to come out all the time. I mean, that can be programmed because we also have to be careful about the environment and not to use water, but how do we use this recycled water? And maybe this only happens during the during sunset or maybe after sunset. So I thought this would be a great place to bring in all ages to enjoy that time. And also at night, these lights will lit, and from far away, that's all you're going to see is these two lights, which is the void. It's the absence of those two towers. And thank you very much. That was my presentation. This is my resume. I have worked in big architecture firms like Gensler, HOK, Westfield, and these are the projects I worked on. Also, I got distinguished instructor awards last year for my teaching technique, and also from how it helped students. These are some of my older projects. I usually do a lot of overhead structures, outdoors, and complex project. That's a restaurant. It's our Arts District, and this is convention center. I worked on the skin that goes over the convention center in San Diego, and then this is a project I've done it's built and it's in downtown Los Angeles. Very colorful, very playful. It's everyone enjoys the space. And these are the consultants I'll work with: building solutions, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural. And I have built projects with them. Cal Asia is the construction company, and I've built projects with them. And the lighting, I have PLP, and I've worked with them as well. So in terms of material, I think this place gets hot, so I wanted to stay away from steel or anything reflective, and that's why the water came in. And but the monuments, I looked at what other architects have done, designing monuments. I looked at Louis Kahn, who has done Roosevelt Monument in New York, and he used granite. And then I looked up Richard Meyer. He used a lot of travertine. So I thought this is great, and I'm thinking of this would be this will have a small minor foundation, but this will have steel framing cladded with cement boards, and then it could be granite slabs, and the seating and even the walkway, that could be travertine. And I think that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Mahmoud. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the artist?
Beautiful design, Mahmoud.
Thank you so much.
Do we have the budget for this?
Your budget also, one of the commissioners asking for your budget?
Yes, I think I talked to Cal Asia Construction, and we didn't want to give any budget because there are a lot of we have a lot of questions with the architects because we don't know the soil condition, we don't know the fire station footing, if it comes under this or how close does it get. So there are a lot of unknown variables, to work with this. It depends on what's happening underground, but in terms of framing, it's pretty straightforward, and just one vent with the LED strip. LED strip is very affordable now, and also this LED strip that's embedded, also very affordable. Perforated metal, very affordable. So I think we can stay within the budget unless the foundation becomes an issue for existing or the new fire station that's coming in. So we're also keeping the landscape very simple. If I guess the next step would be for me to sit down with the architect and our Cal Asia, that's construction, and then figure out the construction. I think that's something is still unknown because of a lot of variables, unknown variables.
All right, thank you very much. I don't see any other questions from the commission, so thank you so much for your presentation. You can still stream the rest of the meeting online, and I will contact all the artists tomorrow about the result. Thank you very much and have a great night.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Commissioner, would you like to take a 5 minutes break and then we start with deliberation, or would you like to go through deliberation and take 5 minutes break between the two projects?
Does anybody need a break right now?
All right, all yours, sir.
This scoring sheet, did you create this number?
Yes, I believe I created that and I shared it with the previous chair, and it was kind of like approved by previous chair, and then we are using it now for this project, and there's another sheet for next project, which was the same process.
So right now we're being asked to approve up to 3 artist proposals to go to council.
So, as you recall, the code for the public arts in public places program, the commission, the Public Arts Commission, is an advisory body to the city council. So since we had 21 proposals for this project and 26 proposals for next project, so it makes sense to send 3 to the council so they can also choose, because they are the final choosing entity for any public arts projects. So sending them one, basically we take the discretion away from them. But I really like the commission to know that the council make the decision and the commission is the advisory. So that's why we are choosing 3, so they can also have some range from these 21 that you narrowed down to 6. And as you see, all 6 that are before you, one way or another way, they're interesting concepts and they're very qualified artists.
So shall we add these points up? Has everyone done their math?
You may add the points up and then have your final score. And then I can ask again, we can go through all 6 artists and then see which one are your highest. So we can choose each one of you can mark your 3 artists however you would like to go through it. So just the highest 3 on each, and we see if we match.
Okay.
Well, I have my 3.
Of course you do. You're the first.
Oh, you want me to tell you who they are?
I have a list here, so I can get your 3, or you can, however you would like to do. So I can get each 3, and when you take a 5 minutes break, I can tell you which ones are the highest and how we should go about it.
Well, I have a top 2, and then my middle 3 were all close to each other, but I'll go ahead and give the top 3.
You have the top 3?
Yeah.
Okay, what are they? Who are they?
From the beginning of the presentation, Landers,
Landers.
Din,
I'm sorry, who?
Din, James Din,
James, okay.
and Oleg Levikin.
Oleg.
Mhm.
And this is, okay, great, thank you. Who else would you like to tell me?
My 3 are Din,
Din, you mean
James
James?
Din.
James? Okay.
Dabak and Jazz.
Bobak?
Babak, yeah.
Okay.
And J-A-E-Z.
Who is J-A-E-Z?
That's the team of the
team
2 artists.
from Canada that spoke French better than English.
Sarah.
Remember?
Sarah.
The 2 very
Sarah.
simple designs.
Yeah, Bobak is the same. The Bobak and Sarah are the same. So you said Bobak,
Yeah.
so the same. So who is your third?
Hashim.
Hashem, okay. So Bobak and Sarah, then Hashem. Okay, Mamun Hashem. Thank you. Who else would like?
I'm ready.
Okay,
Landers,
and let me see, hold on. So Landers,
Sarah,
Sarah,
and Labikin.
Oleg.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Ms. Cruz Zendeja and Armenta, which one is
I can
ready?
go.
Okay.
James,
James,
Oleg,
Oleg,
and Hopen. Can't pronounce
Hopen,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
Hopen, the one with the 3.
The one with the metal birds.
Mm-hmm. More specifically, the first one.
Got
That
it.
helps.
Ms. Armenta,
I have James,
James,
the couple, Sarah,
Sarah,
and Hopen, the first design.
Hopen, first design. And yours is first design on Hopen as well, correct? Ms. Zendeja,
Yes.
first design. Okay, so we have repeats of the artist, but I guess maybe not all the commissions are on the same page. So maybe one should make a recommendation. Chairperson, would you like to go that way to make a recommendation?
Sure. So far, it looks like the top voters, are James, Din.
Oleg, and the team of Sarah and Bobak.
Okay. I'll move that we send those 3 presentations to council.
So we send James, Oleg, and Sarah and Babak. What about Mr. Hashem, the last one? No? Okay, so you guys can make your vote. So I believe there's a motion.
Who is Oleg again? Is that Lubikin?
Yes.
Lovakin, yeah, is the one with shiny.
Yeah, I knew him by the last name, not his first name.
So James, Lovakin, and Sarah and Bobak is the motion.
Acceptable.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a vote.
Commissioner Sanchez,
Aye.
Commissioner Armenta,
Yes.
Commissioner Shinsky,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Cruz Sendejas,
Yes.
Chairperson Newmeyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Right, great. Is anybody would like to take a 5 minutes break?
Do you need to take a break?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm like a fridge, I can work 24/7. So would you like to continue?
I would like to continue unless anyone else here needs a break. Anyone in the audience needs a break? No. Right? Okay, we will continue then.
All
Moving
right.
on, 6.2, Indio mural number 15, finalist selections. Another round of
Exactly. So,
presentations.
sure. Good evening again. We had an RFP that went out March 1st to May 1st. The location is downtown. It is on the building next to the future Indio living room. We received 26 proposals. The commission narrowed down to 6. The budget is $65,000. Again, please use your rating sheet. The first artist is Adam Valentine. Is he on the Zoom?
He is.
All right, so he's on the Zoom. Hi, Adam, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
If you guys could do the PowerPoint for me, because I'm using my phone right now. If you could. Can you guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. Would you like me
Okay.
to run your PowerPoint or you're okay?
If you can, yes, that'd be great.
Okay, so we're gonna run your PowerPoint, which is Adam Valentine's chart. Yeah, he's doing it. Perfect. Okay,
Awesome.
the presentation is up. And if you
All right.
need us to go to the next page, just go next, tell us next
Okay.
page. Thank you.
Let me try to open it on my end so I could know what we're looking at. There it is. All right, my name is Adam. I'm from Los Angeles. You could go to the next page about the artist. You could read that too. And yeah, I've been doing art for about maybe 25 years, maybe more. Started off as a musician, then started doing flyers for bands and my band. And then people started liking it, and I started doing more and more. And people caught on and asked me to do art for beer companies like Lagunitas that came out and Juxtapose. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of that and still playing music, drawing festivals in like Joshua Tree or Landers, and doing a lot of commissions, stuff like that. And you could go down to the mural that I titled Highway to Indio. So about that piece is, like every time I drive through Indio, that's the vibe I get, like just that feeling of the stars above and the highway, the cactus, but in kind of a psychedelic way or futuristic way. Since this is like a future mural, I think that would like fit it. It would bring up, I don't know, like that kind of futuristic, colorful, vibrant vibe with all the stars and driving down the highway. You can see it in the next slide, like more about my story about that. So I used to go to Coachella a lot, and that was like the best part about just passing through Indio, going to all the vintage shops. The people were always nice. The food is great, and it kind of has like a postcard vibe to it. And trying to make this real quick. And the next slide, you can see like how much time it'll take me to finish it, maybe 4 to 5 weeks, maybe longer. I will have some friends that help me that have experience with making murals. I'll be using spray paint, acrylics for this project. Estimated cost would be like around $1,000. Have some anti-graffiti, and I will need a place to stay in my truck. But yeah, food, water, canopy. I have that. Total budget about $35,000. And to start off, I'll be using the projector to outline it, and then I would need a scissor lift. There's that, and you can scroll down to the next one. I'm sorry. And after that, you can see the other murals I've done in art. Like the one at my friend's house with a pool. That was the first one I've ever done. And you can scroll down to the next one too. That's a black light art I do. I was thinking about making this mural black light art, but it would be different material. And if I did get selected and you guys want me to do black light mural, it'll be really cool. Just have black lights out, and it will brighten up the whole part. It'll just stand out and look futuristic, and it'll blow people's minds away.
Adam, sorry to interrupt you. I think we're one slide behind.
Oh.
There's
Okay.
several slides behind.
So a couple of slides behind. Hold on, let me
Okay.
draw. Could you go to the black light slide?
Yeah. There's just photos of the projector outline thing, and then
So we are on
scissor lift.
we are showing the projector. So you're good
Yes.
with that? Go to the next slide, which shows.
Yes.
Okay, now we
Next
seeing
slide.
a mural
This
that
is it.
you're painting.
Yeah, that's the mural.
Okay.
I
so,
did.
Okay, so you're talking on this you will talk on this slide, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
That's one I did at my friend's house, and I did that like with some help that from my friend Twiggy. He's gonna help me out as well. It's still there and gets compliments about it all the time. You can go to the next slide. And that's a black light art I do. I use fluorescent colors, and I was thinking about doing this project with black light, fluorescent markers, not markers, I'm sorry, acrylics. It would require black lights outside of it. It would make the whole park and the mural pop out. It would draw a lot of attention, and I'm sure people will be taking photos of it for years and years. And just go to the next slide. Some more examples of my art. Very desert, psychedelic vibes. And those are like used for portraits. I do a lot of portraits lately for couples and friends. And you could go to the next one. That's I've been doing vending. It's more examples of my art. That's at Desert Days in Lake Paris. Done that about twice already. And if you go to the next one, this is the last slide. It's me at Coachella with a trash can I painted. That was a successful day. And yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. And thanks for having me for this.
Thank you
project.
very much.
Yeah.
Commission, do you have any question from the artist, Adam? It looks like there's no question for you at this time. Thank you.
Okay.
You can
No problem.
I have a quick question.
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. The chairperson has a question.
Hi, Adam. You said you're going to do this
Hi.
with spray paint. Are you going to get clean, crisp lines like you did on this trash can painting and your other black light painting, or is it going to be more of spray paint with?
Spray paint with fluorescent acrylics on paint the wall white first, and then do the projector outline and color it in with a spray paint for the outline, like black spray paint, and yeah, fluorescent acrylics for the coloring inside.
I meant
when you add black to the fluorescent, it makes it pop out a lot more.
my question was going to be for your black work. Is it going to be done with spray? Or are you going to do something finer point, or is it going to be more of a spray can width?
For the sky, it'll be finer paint. The outlining will be all and details with spray can.
Okay.
And of course, if I do the black light, I'll get some UV protection for a layer. So I know there's a lot of sun there, so it will damage the effect of the black light. But if you get the UV protection, it will make it better and last longer.
Any other questions? No? All right, Adam, thank you
Okay.
so much. You
All
can,
right.
you can.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. I'll contact everybody tomorrow with the result, but
All right.
you still can stream it online, stream the
Okay.
meeting online. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, bye-bye. So we
Bye.
have next artist, Frank Lemus. He is here and draw. Could you please draw? Could you please? There we go. Awesome. Thank you. And you can also control it from there.
Is it on? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. First of all, I would like to thank you for considering me for this project, and I'm very excited to be part of it. So, how do we go forward? All right. So, you could go to the next one. What's that?
This doesn't work?
No.
All right, here, you just push it.
Okay. All right. So here I have. So first, a little about myself. I grew up here in the city of Coachella. I did my first mural in 2011. It was the mural in. It's a Dayland Park mural. It's 1,000 feet long, and then I did a 55-foot by 6-foot section. Shortly after this, I joined the military. I was stationed in Germany, Afghanistan, and Italy. Once I came back, I got my associates at College of the Desert and started my art career. I started to work with different nonprofit organizations such as the Culturas, Music and Arts, and also Raíces, doing some projects like the Dia de los Muertos, skulls that they would install in different places, and also for Culturas, the Synergy Festival that they do every year. So I have some images of other projects I have worked on. With the Palm Springs Art Commission, I did the benches on Main Street in 2019, and then more recently I also did a nicho, and it was displayed at Sunnylands, and one of the boxes for Stop in the Name of Love with the Palm Springs Art Commission as well. These are some other murals that I have done for Tamapac Farms in Coachella. These are, one of them is 10 foot by 14 feet, one of them is 8 by 8, and the other is 6 by 4 feet. Also, some of my experience, I have experience painting like houses, like huge houses. So I know how to prepare a wall. I know how to work in large spaces. Also, in this past November and December, I'll also help Zach paint the mural that is across the street at the end of Miles and Smurfs Street. So I help him. He primed the wall, and then I helped him project and complete the wall as well. So I have experience working in the texture of the wall, and he also assisted me in creating the budget. So I have a pretty well-rounded budget to what it's going to cost and what it takes to finish and to work with the material of the wall. So how I came, this is my concept. How I came up with this concept is I kind of wanted to consider what is going to be taking place there, landscape that's already there and how I could make it be cohesive and not just kind of be like a random piece that's there. So I took into consideration the colors of the mural that's across the street, which is like Zach's mural, and then there's also one like on the other side of it too that's like facing the wall. So I kind of took that into consideration, and I drew inspiration from just the landscape that's around. So if you would look to the right of this, there's like a beautiful like desert Indio hills, and it's places that I like to go hike. So I like to go hike there and the cove and just everywhere around the valley. So I really try to put the colors in there. And then also I put a guitar there because I think that's like the guitar is one of the instruments that's going to be played. They're building like a stage right across, and they have music events. So I took that into consideration, and also the subjects that are there in the kind of stand-in for a person, that's like that purple thing that's on the bottom right-hand corner, more as a figure to not make it so maybe exclusive to one person, but as like a stand-in that more than one person that looks a certain way or looks like a certain person could imagine themselves in the landscape. So that's how I came up with it. And then also, so again, Zach helped me with this budget. So I asked him, what was some of the cost, pretty much, the type of paint that he used, and I rounded it out. I have, and then the timeline of how long it's gonna take. It actually, I think, will take a lot faster, but I wanted to be kind of generous with the amount of time. But I think that I will finish it a lot sooner than this because we finished it pretty fast. And so, yeah, that's it. Do you guys have any questions?
I like the surreal quality of the proposal.
Thank you.
Any other question from the commissions?
Do you have any thoughts on that wall? Is really rough.
Yeah, so that's the main thing that I thought about when I was kind of doing this. I think I could still do it. The one that's on the one that me and Zach worked on, it was kind of similar. It's a little bit more, but I think I could make it work. And first of all, I would have to kind of maybe take little pieces that are just too much. But other than that, I think cleaning it and priming it, I'll be able to work with it. And I'm gonna do it with just paint brushes and rollers, how we did Zach's.
All right, sounds good. No more questions? No? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Next person we have is Juan Lopez. Is he on the Zoom? No? All right, so we go to the next person, which is John Cuevas, and he's here. So there we go, we're having his presentation already. Perfect. Thank you, Gerald.
All right, thanks for having me here, guys. I've been following along in my car all around the valley and stuff, what's going on with the meeting and stuff, and I really liked all the presentations. Kind of like Dean's work with the constellations. I think it mirrors something that I'm working with here. So this is my proposal right here. This is what I envisioned for that wall. One thing I wrote, capital letters, was stage. Kept on coming up because I love the Indio new branding and letters. and the taking center stage. I often think of my works as stages, platform for people. I'm always thinking about the people that will interact with it. I love content creators. I love influencers personally. I think it's freaking awesome that somebody can create content and then go around a town and then share what they love about it, whether it's tacos or whether they're a restaurant. Like, that's part of what I find fulfilling about making murals myself, is that it's not private, it's integrated into the community. So any kind of buzz it gets also translates to the neighborhoods that I exhibit my work in or create in. This is what I love to do, and this is my passion. I'm grateful for it. I know a lot of work goes into it, and that's what I see when I see other people around my murals. Every neighborhood's different, but I get to know the neighborhood as I'm working in it. And I see that same passion, I see that same drive, and I feel like with murals, I feel part of the community. I feel like I'm contributing as well to a restaurant success, to a music hall success, to a boutique hotel success. And it's fulfilling. It's really fulfilling for me. And this one I say I like to take underutilized spaces and transform them into something amazing. And that's kind of a high, for myself. I mean, I'll go around, I'll find a place, I'll be like, oh, dude, I could do this, I could do that. And it drives me. And when people share, there's an energy that comes around it, it's just I always remember what it was before. Do you know what I mean? And when it was quiet or when it was just kind of boring and drab and lackluster. That goes hand in hand with, I like social media. I think it's you're able to share with your friends, and as long as you cultivate a community of you're just kind of sharing, and it creates an advertisement that sometimes we think of big advertisements or big budgets that a restaurant or any other business might need, and this is an organic way to kind of it's free advertisement. I mean, I go on there a lot and I post what I'm up to, but I love that because of that. Again, just the surrounding businesses get increased exposure for that. And I've been, it always amazes me when different entities find me and seek me out. In this particular one in downtown LA, I was approached by Fiji for the work to be used in a worldwide commercial that they were airing. They premiered it on the Super Bowl, which was freaking exciting. And it featured Allison Felix in it, and that was the first one. That was the first one that I got approached for a company like that, and they've just kind of been coming. I've done GoDaddy as well, and recently did something for Five Below, and the list goes on and on. It's quite a bit and stuff that. I love Indio. I spend a lot of time here in Indio. They have the best food in the valley for sure. And it reminds me of the places I grew up in. I grew up in San Gabriel Valley, and it reminds me faintly of places that I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley. Not at all exactly. Indio and the Coachella Valley is incredibly unique. The contrast is very, very, very contrasting between different groups, and that is unlike any other city or valley that I've ever been in. I've been in different cities, and I chose to live here, and I chose to raise my family here because I love it here. I just find everything incredibly inspiring, and I choose to be here. The agave is a symbol that I love. I'm fascinated by it. What I'm fascinated about the agave is that it takes sometimes 10 years, sometimes even more, 30 years, for it to finally bloom. When it finally does bloom, throughout its life, it's refined the soil and removed heavy metals, made the soil more fertile. And when it blooms, this is the thing I love the most about it, is that if it gets pollinated by a bat, that's great. It's got offspring. If it doesn't, it creates clones. And so either way, it keeps going. It's determined. And that's the symbol and what I assign to it, is that it's this beautiful, determined plan. And that reminds me of Indio. That reminds me a lot of the people of Indio, and it reminds me of every business that I see, which is another thing that like really attracted me to this location of working with downtown Indio. Was sometimes I do work with corporate entities. In this situation with downtown Indio, there's a lot of mom and pop startups. There's a lot of like individual proprietorships of the businesses, and that's just like, I've already approached and I'm talking to Radio Music Hall. Hopefully we'll get something in there. I've worked with St. Boniface up the way, and I know that the site of what this is going on, I believe is going to be Desert Beer Company, which is like solid beer. The best in the, yeah, one of the best, because I've also worked with La Quinta Brewing, and they make some awesome beers. But that also gets me to like what I was thinking about when I make these works, is that a lot of times there is, like, I feel like I'm painting the city I want to live in. God, I'd love to just go grab a beer at Desert Beer Company, or not, and get like a water and just like chill out, explore the city. Like with and go to the thrift shop where like Return of the Goods just set up, and like that's like my perfect evening, you know. And that's what I paint for, is that like sometimes it's just as simple as I'm painting my perfect evening, and that's art is a part of that. I went really kind of simplified with that vision of the agave because I feel it travels quickly. I feel it's like a letter. I feel it's, yeah. And so from a distance, I want to be able to see it. I mentioned on here that like I want to walk on Jackson Street on the bridge and be able to see that form. And that's just because I feel it gives it presence within a city. And that's the scale that first attracted me to murals. I've actually started as a painter on canvas. But there is something about going large with color that just starts to push it into an affect, where it can affect your mood, where it can, yeah, just that, affect your mood. So for that reason, I need the agaves to be bold, because I want them to contrast, and I want them to be the center stage of the work. But I've got this motif that I've worked before, and you can see it with the constellations back there. And what it is a lot of times I meet different people when I'm on a project, and it can be while I'm painting or during the process, and you know, I bump into them somewhere else, and we just start talking. And this is one way I've been able to incorporate some of what I hear and kind of converse with into the work. And what it is essentially, I create these community constellations, I like to call them, and we all miss somebody that's not here with us anymore. And that's usually where it starts, you know? It's like, you know, we start talking, or I'm often in that kind of, every awesome thing I do, I wish I had other people that I've lost with me. So it's just one of those areas where, like, what reminds you of a loved one? Or sometimes when I've actually been working on these murals, you get to know the houseless population, and you lose a lot of them, you know. I've lost a lot of them, and I've actually gotten to know a lot of family members, and they're still, you know. And so I'll include something. You know, it could be a dice, it could be something. I never want to put something in there in a constellation that is, you know, might represent some, you know, like tags or something like that. So I tend to shy away from that. That doesn't mean that a person who does that wouldn't be included in the mural. It just means that let's choose a symbol. Let's choose something that, you know, can create a cacophony when it's compared and contrasted with other symbols and signs. I like to use it also just in terms of like painting and my color, because then I can, what I really want to do is make like a Milky Way within them, but it'll be low contrast. So it will not be like a glimmer. It's more like I want to take like a dark night, midnight sky, and then include, you know, like magentas, deep magentas, wine colors and stuff. And it's more just to kind of like make it appear like the night sky. Yeah, I wrote here that some people might see it as like the United Farm Workers flag. That's a positive thing to me. I think it's something to be proud of. I know that there's a long history here in the Valley, and I think for me, there's nothing but respect for somebody who takes care of the land. And I think that's why the agave really, you know, being from Mexico and you go to tequila farms or like even just like going to farmlands that are away from the big cities and stuff, it's just the agave has a cultural weight to it. Sure, it's tequila, but to me, it's also like the night. I always invoke it with the night. I think because it blooms for night creatures and the bats. So having the sun and then having this, envisioning this as a night spot, I'm really, really excited about how the colors will transition. And I've done it before. This is a heavily textured wall, and it's similar to what the wall is there. That wall is crazy rough and textured, and it doesn't, I actually see that wall and I find it really relaxing, and I can't wait to go paint it. It doesn't look difficult to me because I've done it before. And what I love about that type of textured wall is that in the end you get like, it refractures the color even more. So you get shadows under, and it just gives it kind of like a sand-like quality, which you can't do that with other textures on that scale. It's beautiful. I would power wash it. Anything that's loose and structurally like unsound, chip away. But I'm looking forward to, there's some parts where you'll know that it's there on. I'll bring a chisel. If it doesn't go, it stays. And when it does stay, it's going to create little shadows, little variations. And all those shadows also come in at various angles that'll complement the 45-degree angles here. It'll look like little raindrops at some points, sometimes little clouds. And the frame and border I gave to this work here, that's on purpose. What it does is it's going to raise the lower lip of it away from the drip zone so that any water condensation that happens from the lawn just kind of happens there. It might fade, it might get a little lighter, but it keeps it away from my color, which would kind of interfere. Maybe it's just a perfectionist thing, because I'm going to seal this with distilled water and gesso first. let it dry completely. And I do distilled water because I don't want any intrusion of any kind of salts, because that tends to have minerals back away and peel off. So that's what I do. It's like a canvas. And I found that to be really successful on that one in downtown LA with that was featured in Fiji ad. That thing, when it rains, it becomes a waterfall, and it's really epic and amazing. But it's survived already for close to 8 years. And it's like behind glass, and that's because I did that. It took longer, and it's patiently waiting for it to completely dry. Then you do it again, then you do it again. And then finally I put Kills paint on it. And then when I paint, I go on it like in caustic. And that's what really, really, really has the color survive throughout the years. I choose colors that are pretty stable, but all colors will change. But by how I pair it, it's still beautiful. And it would be an honor to create this for Indio. I know that there's going to be a stage right there, and so that's what I foresee and see with it too. Is just there's so many areas where people can come create their content, and like for me, like it's just I would love to paint this. Like it's I find it really relaxing. I always call it painting yoga because it's just color mixing, and I've said it. I think I said in my other one. Big thing is I see this as creating a spectacle out of color. I just get such a kick when I'm out there painting and somebody's like, whoa, or yeah, or like people's reactions. And if I don't get that, then I know it's going wrong. So I'll keep working till I get that. And then you just kind of know it. It's almost, I've compared it to like when a band plays a live set in a small club. If you stink, you're like, oh, you'll feel it. And then all of a sudden, like they change up their set. And so like, I don't know, yeah, I'm here for the applause. Thank you. Yeah, it would be an honor.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thanks, John.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So we have next a team of artists, which are Ms. Marnie Navarro and Mr. Carlos Ramirez. They also, thank you for your patience and waiting such a long time. They also have their real paintings and some sample colors. So when you would like, just let me know. I take it up and then show it to the commission. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you. Good evening, commissioners. It's great to see many of you in person again, and some of you for the first time. I'm Marnie.
Hi, thanks for having us, first of all. And I'm Carlos Ramirez. I was born and raised here in the Coachella Valley, so I'm pretty familiar with the desert. And a little bit about myself, I lived here most of my life, traveled to LA, started working in LA, and started doing projects with galleries out there, which ended up turning into New York, international. Like a lot of my work is sculptural, it's site-specific. Like recently, we did a huge site-specific in Dallas with PBS. It was their first initiative art project. So.
We'll see a photo of it in a couple of slides.
And then we also brought this so you can see it in person, and I think it lends itself a little better to the actual colors and the gradation of the paint that you can't capture like on digital. So we thought in person would be better.
So the primary image here, that is the sample of the mural. It's the colorway that Carlos and I have selected. Carlos is the lead artist on this project. I'm the collaborating artist. And we just wanted to make sure that's the only full-size image of it in the presentation. Let's see. So I structured the presentation really in brief. It's a snapshot of our proposal, and each slide is a section that addresses what was asked of us to present during this evening. So we are both local artists. Our intent Between the two of us, we bring 40-plus years of professional arts experience to the table. We're both lifelong Coachella Valley residents, and we're artists who are really interested in social and community-based practice. So while we both do studio art, a lot of what we find gratifying is the engagement with the public. So let's see, what else is on here? I don't really want to read slides to you, but I can. Should I do that or no?
No.
Okay. As I said, we're both really invested in the East Valley. We really appreciate all the revitalization and the progress that you're making here with all the different proposals and all the different, like the living room's going to be really great. We're super excited for whichever artist is selected for this project. It's a wonderful opportunity. Carlos's studio is actually here in downtown Indio. So, and then I run aside from being an artist, I run a arts and culture nonprofit in Coachella. I really just wanted to do a snapshot of each of our work. Carlos, do you want to just talk about where each project is?
Okay, the two main figures that are standing in the center were 2016 at the Coachella Fest. And those are like 30 feet tall. We had a team that helped us design it structurally, like so the integrity wouldn't be weak or anything. So that was 2016. And the big mural is in Amsterdam. The monkey is in Amsterdam at the Strat Museum. And that's about like 16 feet wide and about, I think it was like 12 feet tall. And then also that's the car there that me and Marnie did for PBS. It was their first art initiative. And it was 3 different artists one was from New York, myself and Marnie in Dallas. And I think it was Swoon, Rick Lowe, and ourselves.
Yeah. So I served as the project manager on the car project. It is Carlos's art. And Carlos has a very specific visual language that he uses in his work that's extremely distinct. Here's just a couple of projects that I've done. I don't know if you recognize the house that was here for you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It was wonderful. I also do collaborative work, so the mural with the students graduating walking on the road to their future was a project that we did with students at Coachella Valley High School. So I served as project manager, creative director on that with a group of, I think it was 9 students and an artist in residence. So these kinds of projects are really near and dear to our hearts, where we get to make work, not only our own work, but also work that brings other people in to including them and becoming artists themselves. Our bios, do I need to read this to you?
No.
No. Okay. Anything you want to say about your work? Okay. So the project narrative in brief, it is a design that's a balanced composition representing nature and humanity. The human is the key focal point in the work, but that's complemented by this expansive landscape that's reflective of our beautiful Coachella Valley desert floor, and then the animals, the wildlife there. There's a nod to native population with this design motif that Carlos conceptualized, and you might want to talk a little bit more about how you came up with it. The design in general. Well, the collaborative piece was we were each thinking about submitting separately, and then we happened to talk one day, and we talked about it, and we're like, why don't we do it together? And then so we started thinking about the image, and I really wanted to, mine was going to be like a murmuration of birds, when you see birds flock together and fly, and they create these really amazing patterns, because I really like to highlight the interconnectedness between us as people, and sometimes using animals as a stand-in. And so I also wanted to put mountains in my design, and so when we talked about it, those were kind of the pieces that came together in Carlos's hand to create this primary design. So again, the RFP asked for, a focus on the rich history of India, which there's a lot there, but one of the primary expansive things is the landscape and the mountains for me. It is abstract in form, it is very rich in color, and it has recognizable symbols that are not super realistic or on the nose, if you will. So our timeline and our budget is contingent on a grant award. If that happens, we'll be very happy. And we'll execute contracts. Once those are handled, we'll go into the wall prep. As you all mentioned, the wall is a unique wall. So we considered chiseling the most extruded portions of the mortar and then evaluating from that point. And then if we need to sand things away or tuck point, then that will be done as well as part of the wall prep. And then we would like to work with a smooth wall, but at least a little bit less textured than it is right now would, I think, be ideal for us. And that would take about 2 weeks, depending on what ends up working out. We would execute the mural. It's going to be a mixture of paint spraying, rollers, and a lot of brushwork by hand. Did you want to talk about the additional, like the mirrors and things like that?
Yeah, one of the ideas we had was to add small circular mirrors, but not big enough so where it would cause a distraction with light, but so where you walk it would shimmer almost like starlights in the sky. So that's one idea we had, but
I don't know if that would be, I figured it would create more issues to put like mirror things or ceramic things in the proposal. Not sure if that's on the table for us to be able to kind of work with or consider. But I think that would look amazing.
Just
yeah,
enough so it would sparkle and catch light. So
it would look amazing.
It would give it another layer to what's already there.
The goal is to always finish on time, but also finish early. So if we can, we will, but by December 30th of the end of this year, if we're granted the award, the mural would be completely done and the coating, and then we would consider public programming at that point, if that makes sense. The budget is $40,000. There's a line item in the proposal, so I just broke it out into categories. So artist fees and associated costs with that is $16,500. Materials, including paint, paint supplies, equipment like scissor lifts, and then additional labors, $19,000. Programming costs and other miscellaneous costs, $4,500. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any questions for the team of artists?
Well, I like the idea of the applique. It works with the texture of the wall.
Us too.
That gives it a whole different dimension. Once,
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm flashing back to the Sparklets truck that used to come by.
Right. Do they still have that? The shimmer part?
I don't
No,
think
right?
so, no. My sister's godfather used to drive for them.
Yeah, we would love to consider, like, I was like, we should make the figure out of ceramics, and we should, but then I'm like, oh, no, like, we gotta let's just propose it straight up. But if we have the liberty to consider other materials,
Right.
that would be super exciting.
I did a piece out in Desert Shore, and I added, but I added little, kind of the same effect with the mirrors, and every time you walk by it, like just, it looks like stars. It's crazy. It's pretty.
Good.
I just wanted to say thank you to all of the artists who stayed and bared with us and for your patience. I really appreciate you
Thank you for
taking
having
the
us.
time and coming and doing this.
Thank you. Thank you, Leila, for all the support to get us,
Oh,
everybody
no.
to this point.
Thank you, my pleasure. It's a true pleasure working with you guys. Thank you so much. And I believe our last artist, which is Eduardo Valdez, he withdrew from the competition due to some family emergency, which is really understandable. So I don't think he will be there. Is Juan Lopez there, Paulina?
No, he's not.
All right, so that will be our last artist. So if you would like to do it the same as last time, you guys let me know who are your 3 highest scored artists. We can do that. If you would like to talk amongst each other and do deliberation, that can be also very acceptable.
I would just like to add, they did in fact drop out of consideration, or they just can't make the presentation tonight, the other 2 artists?
No, the one artist, which I said his name, Eduardo Valdez, he emailed me and he dropped out of the competition, I
Okay.
believe yesterday, but I
Okay.
haven't heard anything from Juan Lopez.
Okay, well, I'm ready. My three,
Sure. Who are they?
Lemus, Cuevas, Ramirez Navarro.
So Marnie Navarro and Carlos?
Ramirez Navarro.
All right, EJ. Sorry, Chairperson Newmeyer.
Give me 1 second here, collect my things.
Okay, who's ready to go? You're ready? All right. let's-
Cuevas, Lemus, Navarro, Ramirez.
All right. Who else is ready? See?
I'm ready now.
Oh, you're ready,
Okay,
Chairperson?
Navarro and Ramirez, Cuevas, and Villanueva.
And who?
Villanueva.
Valentine.
Adam Valentine
Valentine.
Villanueva.
All right, Vice Chair Zendeja.
Lemus, Cuevas, and Navarro Ramirez.
All right, Commissioner Armenta.
I have Cuevas, Ramirez Navarro, and Limes.
Okay, it looks like everybody is kind of like match except one commissioner, but I believe if we can make a motion and vote on, that would be great.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we send on the proposals of Lemus, Cuevas, Ramirez Navarro.
I'll second that.
May we have a vote?
Commissioner Sanchez,
Aye.
Commissioner Armenta,
Yes.
Commissioner Shinsky,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Cruz Sendeja,
Yes.
Chairperson Newmeyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you very much. So I will email the artists that were chosen with the next steps tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, so the next item in our agenda,
Shields Park project?
it is the Shields Park project, so I will wait for our great RT help, Gerard, to open my presentation with the name Layla. Perfect, thank you very much. All right, so Shields projects, as you recall, we issued 3 RFPs. The first one was to create a multifunctional gathering space with shade structure. The budget was $50,000. We received only one proposal from Nicole Beck, which you see here. 2 reasons was it didn't get considered because it was only one proposal and they meet the gist of the RFP. Then we went out with the increase of budget with $65,000. We asked for an outdoor library, but we received only one proposal again, which is this one, from Fitzhugh Carl. It's a great piece, but it didn't meet the RFP's theme. Therefore, it wasn't considered. Then, for the 3rd time, we went out with the same budget, $65,000, to create a walking maze with some type of vertical element. So we received 2 proposals, one from Bobak, which was a new look, with a new look or new concept of a maze, and with this sculptural piece. And another one from Sarah, which this one was over budget, but still was a piece that the commission wanted to consider, and still will go before the city council for this location consideration. But this piece was chosen by or recommended by the commission to the council for their consideration, which it didn't, they didn't approve that. So now we're back to square one. So what is a staff proposal at this point is from the commission to direct a staff for preparing a new request for proposal, RFP, with an open theme. So there won't be anything specific. We just show basically the grounds and say, this is it. This is a park in a community. So come up with something for the community and the park. The budget, we knew it is very low, so the staff is requesting to increase the budget. At this point, staff is requesting if the commission accept the staff's proposal to make a recommendation to the city council for their consideration of the new RFP and a new budget appropriation, which will increase the budget from $65,000 to $100,000. So that's what is for discussion on this item. And that concludes my staff report. I'd be happy to answer if you have any questions.
Are we still requesting a shade element with this, or now is it completely open?
It is completely
Okay.
open. We can add to the RFP that this is a hot climate, so the material and considering shade may be considered, but we just want to have it open to see what we get this time.
Okay. Is there any discussion on this?
I think 100,000 for this location is too much. Max 80.
80, okay.
What kind of visuals are giving potential, applicants?
So basically, maybe the property and aerial overview with pictures of the park. Also, I'm thinking maybe to do a Q&A meeting with whoever applies before the RFP deadline with the staff. So maybe we share videos of the park and things like that. So it's kind of give them what is going on, what is there, because we get many artists that apply from far away. Also show them that it is a connection to the CV Link, future CV Link. And I think that meeting will help a lot, because sometimes it looks like the people who apply, they may not go through the RFP in a detail. So maybe that will help them to kind of visualize better the space, and that this is in a neighborhood, this is tucked away from the main streets, but also it is in the neighborhood that there's a lot of kids go to school, come home, and this is a park which is kind of blank, so you need to add something to it so it will be interesting.
Yeah, the information, number one, it is in a neighborhood, and it is frequented by kids. And I think the idea of doing a video of the space would be really, really helpful, because it's not a normal park space. You don't even know it's there unless you know it's there. And its surrounding is quite curious. So I think something with a little more reality to it would be very helpful to an applicant.
Sure, we can do that if the commission would like to do that. We can do that to have like a meeting before the submittal, like a couple of weeks before the submittal with everybody, so they can, log in. I'll be at the park, show them everything that they want to see.
Because it's not a big piece of park.
It is not, and it really needs something there.
personally, I don't have a problem with the budget because, you know, we're hoping that they don't exceed. And historically, we've stuck sculptures at the edge of town for quite more. And I would personally like to see more pieces within neighborhood parks, within neighborhood settings. And if this is something to attract a stronger applicant, stronger presentation, stronger showing, and it does tie in with the CV Link pathway, it is in a neighborhood, I don't have a problem with the 100 myself.
No, I understand that. Yeah, I'll go along with that. Sure.
Any other suggestions or to do things or not do things for me from the commission? No? Okay. So I guess.
Well, then I'll make a motion that we, you know, do an RFP for $100,000 that is accompanied by some sort of visual presentation to really interpret the space in a much better way than has been in the past. Because it really would be nice to get something into a neighborhood. Are we gonna? Is anyone from the neighborhood kind of involved in this?
It is not, but that would be the other thing that I probably would put there for us to do some type of community outreach when we get something going on, which we know which direction from the neighborhood. But that, I mean, when basically the RFP is complete, because the RFP again will come before you to take a look at, make sure it's good. So when it is good, then I will like to do some type of outreach. It could be again another Zoom meeting with the community, which we send mailers. If they don't want to attend that, they still can send me back via email or via even write to me in a card. It will be self-stamped and everything, so we can collect some of those information as well. And also when the piece is coming back for selection, maybe before we go to the commission, maybe we get some input from the community as well. So that's kind of, you know, packaged together for this piece, because it seems like we haven't had great luck with this piece. Yeah. It was like one proposal or two proposals.
Whose district is it in?
I don't recall at top of my head right now. Anybody knows?
Let's look at a map.
Because whatever council person's responsible for this park, it's in their district. They should be out letting them, you know.
Well, I think they should get the kids from, was that Madison School, the families involved, yes.
You know, because, I mean.
We can reach out to the school as well, to the kids, to see, you know, hey, this piece is coming, this RFP, you know, or we want to put something there. What do you think?
I have a coworker who is kitty corner from the park site, but she's leaving the neighborhood next month.
I'm sorry?
I have a coworker who I share a cubicle with, and she lives kitty corner to the park.
Perfect,
But
yeah.
she's leaving the neighborhood next month.
But, you know, some of the kids,
yeah,
parents of some of those kids may be artists or maybe, you know, people who would be interested in doing something, so.
Okay, I'm checking the district map.
I second the idea, though, of reaching out to the school. I think that's getting the input from them, straight from the
I
kids.
think it is, I'm sorry.
No, that was done. I say it, getting the input from the school, yeah.
I believe it's the district for Mayor Oscar Ortiz.
And be a politician, Oscar. Tell your people you need their help.
All right, so we reach out to the school as well. We do some outreach for the community. Maybe we collect some information from them. Then we draft the RFP, or how we would like to do that.
Any of the above, actually. It would be nice to have some neighborhood input.
Okay, we'll do that.
Anything else?
That's
Did we vote on this?
I don't remember.
Not yet. No, not yet. We start talking about it.
Okay, I made a motion.
You made a motion, yes.
This motion was seconded. You know,
And we
and that
have a-
motion included all the suggestions that we've given, correct?
Sure. Anything, I understand that we would like to do a neighborhood outreach to the school. And then also, based on that, I'm assuming we're preparing an RFP, and the RFP would include a pre-session, pre-deadline session, which will give them videos and everything that the artists do need to know. And then the
Excellent.
budget is $100,000.
Perfect. Okay.
And do we have a second for that?
I'll second that.
May we have a vote?
Commissioner Sanchez,
Aye.
Commissioner Armenta,
Yes.
Commissioner Shinsky,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Cruz Sendejas,
Yes.
Chairperson Newmeyer,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Great.
That's it for action items. Now we have staff items.
These staff items are very long, so if you bear with me, I'm just kidding.
I was like,
We're gonna hit a record now.
No, so I'll be so fast. The study session will happen on July 19 at 3 p.m. So we would like you all to attend at the meeting. This is a good opportunity to talk. The staff understand what the commission would like, and also commission will understand what the council would like to see, and vice versa. So we have a clear vision going forward. I will email everybody by Thursday our work plan, which the two of the commissions hasn't seen it yet, with the addition of the 4 new projects that we're supposed to add to. So I will send that to you because I think that's a good opportunity to talk about it too. So what is public arts? What do we want to see? Do we want to see something that evokes thought, or do we want to see something that we can order it from Amazon, comes from China, and you plant it there? So what is it? So those are the things that we should talk. So I think the work plan is also has some examples as what the commission sees and what the staff sees, and maybe what the community also want to see, so not repeating. So I will send that to you, but these are the things that we will talk about. And then also we'll talk about at the end, if we want to do an art and culture master plan, what needs to be changed based on the current code and what needs to be added if we want to go that route, and then how we're going to accomplish it. So that will be at the end. So the main portion will be just finding out where we want to go, and then the small portion will be that. The second item is Public Arts Commission meeting of August 8th has been canceled. So we will post a cancellation notice according to the procedure. And then the next meeting will be September 12th. But I am always available for any questions, any email, any suggestions, any ideas, what we need to revise, what we need to improve. So you're always more than welcome to email me or meet me at my office. I'm always available. So that's all the items that I have to discuss tonight, and commissioners' comment.
Anybody have anything to say?
I've said enough tonight.
All right. Would everyone be okay if we adjourned? Okay. 8:35. We'll adjourn this meeting.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Thank you, Commission,
Thank you, everyone, for
being
sticking
so
around.
patient with me. And
do you want
thank you,
these,
the
Layla?
artists. I'm sorry? Yes, please.